success loves speed, right? And that's great. Like, I agree, success does love speed. But to what you piggyback off of what you just said, when you move with speed, what are you really sacrificing? Are you sacrificing your time? Or are you sacrificing being sloppy? Are you sacrificing your quality, your deliverables? There's a lot of stuff that comes with it when you move with speed. And what you just said was so true. A lot of the times when we set these targets, we aim to like break a record, for it to be our best month, our best, period on what we're going after.
Welcome to Entrepreneurhood, where we break entrepreneurship down into 3 simple pillars: business, lifestyle, and motivation. Our goal is to use our personal experiences as industry leaders to guide and inspire young entrepreneurs to see the lesson in every challenge. Because we understand that companies don't succeed, people do. Now, welcome the leaders of Entrepreneurhood, Lakim and KB.
Welcome to the neighborhood. You got your boy Lay Kim in the building, and I got my brother KB in the building with me. We're on episode 68, and we decided to call this one Slow is Fast and Fast is Slow. Now, before we jump into what this episode is all about, you guys know we have our normal weekly segment called W's and L's, right? So that stands for wins and lessons. So KB, for this week, for W's and L's, what you bring into the community? You got a W or you got an L?
Got a W, man.
Let's get it.
Finally closed my Brooklyn property.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long journey. It was very emotional. Almost broke me. But we got it done. We closed, and I don't want to see Brooklyn unless I'm going to see my girl.
Yeah, I feel like it's cool, bro, because what's nice is for anyone that's consistent with listening to our episodes, they kind of went through the same emotions that you went through with the property. I remember when you listed it, I remembered, when you were almost about to close. So the fact that it's officially done, that got to be, a bittersweet feeling.
Nah, so it's sweet.
No bitter.
The only bitter part is that I had to realize it was part of my story, part of the lesson learned, and I learned so much from it. So the goal was to be, do an investment and be profitable. So I wasn't as profitable as I intended to be or what I projected to be. However, throughout that year and some change, I learned so much things that makes me more profitable and sustainable for the long run. And it's one of those things where it's like, all right, we didn't win on this one, but we're going to catch it back on the next one. And by doing that, having that type of mentality, you just learn some part of the game. You trust the game about entrepreneurship and don't let it defeat your confidence of taking the next step or taking that next risk. And that's what I really embody with this whole experience of how to read people, how to trust people, contractors, analyzing more about the neighborhood and the comps, and just understanding the layout and exit strategies.
Yep.
So this was one of the exit strategies because it essentially was going to be for Airbnb. That was the main reason. So then the laws changed in New York for those who don't live in New York, where you had to get a permit to actually do Airbnb, more paperwork, and basically had to only do long-term stays or 30 days or more. In the game of entrepreneurship, you got to learn how to pivot. So that became one of the strategy, and it's like I didn't want to deal with tenants because I didn't want to have a marriage. I just want to make a quick flip. That was the first priority.
Wait, so you didn't want a marriage? You were just looking to mingle? Like that's what you were trying to do?
One and done. Have a nice night. That's pretty much what it was, and it turned out to be strange situationship.
A toxic. You got into a toxic relationship, bro. That's what it was.
Yeah, I don't even like to associate myself with the word toxic. Yeah, so and to be able to hand the keys over to a black family, it was a dope feeling. I didn't know who the owners were until I got to the closing table. So it was their first property, multifamily. So it was good to pass it on in some good hands, and hopefully they have a better experience with it.
So do you think that situation is in line with slow is fast and fast is slow? Do you feel like you moved too fast on that investment, or?
Yeah, I think it was Well, I'm gonna talk about more in the episode, but yeah, definitely for sure. The short answer.
Got you. Okay. And yeah, and definitely save the sauce and the experience for when we get into it. So I'll share with the community, my W or L for the week as well. So for me this week, I definitely have a W. And my W is that I officially launched my premium addition to the Entrepreneur Championship Planner. So from this angle, you could see the two planners in the background. And it was a successful launch. It was stressful because I wanted to, I released it on Valentine's Day. And I knew, I had to wait for the shipment. I had to get my website right. I had to get my graphics right. And I had to get my payment processing right. It was a lot of stuff that goes into launching a great product that people don't understand. They just think you get something, put it online and pray for the best. But there's a lot of tactical stuff that goes into it to have a successful launch. And I felt good. Up until the day of the launch, emailing my graphic designer, and we were like, my website designer, we were just going back and forth to make sure everything was up to my standard. Because once I put my name behind something, I want to make sure it's only the best of the best. So it was a great launch, man. We made a couple sales the first day. And the following day, the sales kept going. And till this day of the episode, sales are continuing to flow in. So for anyone who have not heard or don't know about it, I have my own product. It's called the Entrepreneur Championship Planner. And I just released a premium edition to it. The premium edition, comes with a notebook. It comes with a pen. It comes with a bookmark. And it comes with a new color wave. So I released a new color wave, which is a pink edition. So it's a limited edition version of the pink color wave. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback. So if you're a person that just kind of needs to work on your planning or your accountability and you need a great tool, that's why I created the Entrepreneur Championship Planner.
Yeah, I love my planner, bro. Actually, I gotta get some new ones for myself. So I'm definitely gonna be putting my order in soon.
Yeah, bro, the premium edition, like you're gonna see the difference, and it's gonna continue to get people results. So it's something that I'm excited about, bro, for real.
So this episode is gonna be very in real time.
Yeah.
Slow is fast, fast is slow. The reason we chose the title of this episode because it resonates with our stories and entrepreneurship story of wanting to move as fast as possible. However, when you move as fast as possible, at what cost are you moving? Sometimes the into success or the sellout or the record breaking, it gets in front of the sustainability. So if you might have something you want, to close out, you want to make sure you have 1,000 subscribers first day you launch it, and you have 1,000 subscribers, and now you don't even know how to service those 1,000 subscribers.
Yep.
The episode understanding today is basically understanding slow is fast, fast is slow, having a well thought out plan or knowing how to pivot at a certain level. And I think entrepreneurs don't think about that aspect of what comes with that 50K month or the 100K month. What is the downside?
Bro, that was such a great introduction to what this episode is, bro. I feel like you hit all of the main ideas of what we're going to be talking about, because that's really it. It's like we hear this quote all the time. Success loves speed, right? And that's great. Like, I agree. Success does love speed. But to what you piggyback off of what you just said, when you move with speed, what are you really sacrificing? Are you sacrificing your time? Or are you sacrificing being sloppy? Are you sacrificing your quality, your deliverables? There's a lot of stuff that comes with it when you move with speed. And what you just said was so true. A lot of the times when we set these targets, we aim to like break a record, for it to be our best month, our best, period on what we're going after. The top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. Right. And when entrepreneurs could understand that or digest what I just said, and we'll unravel that throughout this episode. But once you understand that particular concept, you'll look at business completely different.
I mean, being that you're on the topic, what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So which part? Like the quote?
The quote of being on top of one mountain and then
being the bottom of the next.
Bottom of the next.
Yeah. So I'll just share my personal experience of how my transition has been in business. So in 2018 was my best year, business wise, travel wise. I felt unstoppable. Huh?
Living life.
Yo, living at the peak, at the pinnacle. And what made 2018 such a great year? That year, I paid myself, I bonused myself over $100,000. So I was able to pay myself over $150,000 after all my bills were paid. And I still had, about $60,000 left over in my business account after I bonused myself $100,000 after I paid my taxes. Right. So, that was just a great year. And I was 24 years old. So to be at that particular stage, my company, I had weeks that my company was doing $15,000 to $20,000 a week. I was having consecutive 6-figure months, right? That just became my norm. So long story short, I felt great. I felt unstoppable. However, remind you, I started my company in 2015, right? So 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's 3 years. So to go from being broke, right? 2014 and 15 was like, those are rough years for me, right? No, I was not ashy during those years.
Ashy the classy, bro.
Yeah, that's stretching it, right? I didn't really have money. I didn't, have time. And that's the worst. That's one of the worst places to be. You don't got money and you don't got time.
I always say you can't be broke in business.
Yeah, it's like that was just a tough period. But I was building, right? So within that 3-year period of me starting James Marketing Consulting, I went from being broke to having over $150,000 liquid in my bank account. And my confidence was the highest. But again, that was the top of that mountain. What I didn't know was what was going to happen next. And what happened next was after that amazing year, the following year, I had to close 2 locations because 2018, I opened, 2 locations. I had to close 2 locations.
So there's a pinpoint that you was doing well and you scaled immediately.
Exactly. Okay. So I went from 0 within 3 years. I hit a pinnacle, and that to me, 3 years is a quick time period, right? To go from 0 to almost grossing $1 million. To me, that's really quick for a young professional, right? Again, remember, I'm 20.
What was your advisor's recommendation?
They just gave me generic information. They said, like him, save your money and just let that money stay in that account and don't touch it.
So did they say open up the second location?
Yeah. So when we were scaling, absolutely, everyone gave me the green light. But the thing was, as I received the green light, no one, myself, I wasn't monitoring my spending. I wasn't, as I had the liquid cash, no one gave me strategies or was guiding me on like, hey, like Kim, maybe this may be a good point to put this in a IRA or whatever types of, accounts that would make sense to have that money work for you. Maybe like Kim, this could be a good time to, look for some investment properties. And also myself that's on me too, to understand that, that's my responsibility. So I also take some of the blame, but bro, it happened so quick.
You
right?
gotta take some, you gotta take all.
Yeah. So, but
what were you spending on?
So the first thing I did was I had a Cadillac at that point. I had a 2017 Cadillac. So I just took some money and I just paid the Cadillac. It was a Tuesday. And I was like, my Cadillac, I had like $23,000 left on my Cadillac. I'm like, it was a Tuesday, man. You know what? Let me pay this Cadillac off. And I just called up the dealership, paid off the Cadillac, $23,000. And I still had $50,000 left, just liquid. And I just didn't know what to do with it. So, I went on some trips. People needed loans. I was loaning money out. And yeah, so that was the time. If they needed a loan, I was the person. I was just giving money out left and right. So back to the story. So 2018, best year. 2019, a struggle. Like I closed location, I loaned money to people. As soon as I loaned money to people, they disappeared. They had to close locations down. And I just felt like I felt betrayed, and I felt like my life was crumbling after 2018. 2019 was a tough year. And in 2020, I was like, yo, that's going to be my comeback year. And then we all know what happened in 2020, COVID. So I just felt like I wasn't able to like fully recover from 2018. And it was because, again, slow is fast and fast is slow.
It's so many lessons learned within the story that I'm sure that you learned about, even handling money or respecting money a little bit more.
That's key, bro. My level of respect for earning that much money, how to manage it, whole new perspective.
Because when it's coming in quick, it's like every drug dealer movie, like this is forever. We're gonna ride this off to the sunset.
Yeah.
I think for me it was similar in 2022 of starting being a business consultant, starting funding and helping my clients. And I helped a lot of my first clients with my training clients, which was dope because they trusted me, with their physical goals. Now it's their financial goals. As I was helping people, I funded myself to make sure I could be credible about what I'm offering. And then when it came down to helping them, I was helping them get into different spaces, Airbnb or Amazon. A lot of them wanted something semi-passive business. And as I've gotten more into it, midway funding about 3 people, I realized my Amazon store went down.
Oh, man.
So Amazon, it's a hefty investment where you got to put up, the guy was going through, put up $25,000. And then you still got to have money for your store. So that's why I'll be able to get them $100,000 in funding. And they can have that leverage just in case if they need to buy more products. And when it came down to it, it was an integrity move for me. It's like, you know what? I want to get paid for helping them, and I want to get them to the goal of 100,000. However, these people never had a business before. So I could either push the limit so I could just get my money, or I could just stop it and cut my income in half, my revenue in half, because I don't know where else I can lead them to.
Yep.
So it was a big integrity move for me. And, I still made my income. However, it was tough because for some people I was helping make money that wasn't doing those businesses. They were doing their own business, but it wasn't as successful. Like they didn't have an actual strategic plan. And I, would consult with them, but not as strong as I do now.
Right.
And it's like, all right, I took your word for it. You know what you're going to do with it. All right, you're going to get 100K. You're going to put it here. All right, cool. Let's just check out your profile. And, I made 100K in 3 months.
Wow. So hold on, that part right there, right? I feel like I don't want that to be overlooked, right? Because you started a new industry, you start serving people, right? It wasn't too clear on who you were serving or what their true outcome was. You just know that you just wanted to get them access to the money. And then you generated a crap ton of money. So in a brand new industry, some people, they don't make $100,000 in a year. Some people 2 years, but you just generated something that you just learned. You generated $100,000 in money that was paid to you in 3 months.
Yeah, in the first 3 months at that.
Wow. Crazy.
So, very fast. And I've kind of felt, I was the first time I ever felt bad about making money.
Wow.
And it was tough because that was the most I've ever made in a short amount of time period. So I did that with training, but it took me a whole year. And the only reason I felt bad because the people, they wasn't making the best decisions with the capital, or they either didn't believe in their vision no more. Even though it had nothing to do with me, technically on paper, I did my job. However, as it go back again, the integrity move of, these people are not being successful because they're not even sending me referrals because they messed up with the initial investment.
Yeah.
So if I help you get the bag and you fumble it, you're not going to tell nobody about me because I didn't do nothing to you, but it's like, they don't have no success of their own. So what are they going to talk about? So, from that time when I did the 100K in 3 months, it was crazy because what made that August 22 was so special is that I did another 40 in real estate.
Wow.
So I didn't even count in training, but counting training, I probably did 90K that month. And I was scared.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, Roddy was like, what you going to do? Do something. I'm like, nah, I just got him out of a hole. Like, I'm not trying to do nothing.
Yeah.
And what I did, my boy, he had his wedding, so I rented me a nice little vet, got me a suit, rented a photographer to come out. But that was pretty much the only thing I really did for myself. After that, I was invested in buying a property already. The same way I made 100K in 3 months, I probably spent like maybe 40 in the next 30 days.
What?
Yeah.
Bro, you've never spent $40,000 in 30 days before, bro.
It was crazy. And I had to pay down my taxes so I could get the house, put on a tax plan, and then I had to pay the down payment for the house. Now, being that my taxes wasn't in order, as far as my payment plan, I had to wait the next month. But when I waited the next month, interest rates changed. So my total went from 6,000 to 27.
What?
So it's literally, I just made this money so fast and it was going, trickling down.
Just as fast, yeah.
Just as fast. So I felt like I was out of control. Like, as far as like the variables in my life, I couldn't control them. So it made me more frustrated because I was like, I'm doing something good. I'm doing something right, but why does this keep happening? I got to keep putting out all these different fires as I'm making more money. And, go back to saying more money, more problems. So, but what scared me the most about making that amount of income that fast in a new business in my first 3 months, I don't know technically, I don't have a system. I don't have a target audience. And I just can't live off my clients from training. Like, they're going to come to me because it's something new. They see that I'm doing, they want to support, or somebody might be interested. However, I didn't have it. I know I had a blueprint for training. Like, I knew who I was targeting. I know I was going to catch them at. I'm just trying to help whoever is trying to make passive income.
Yeah.
And that's what my target was, my avatar. And then as I kept narrowing down, and then I went through a depression between October and December.
Wait, so that's of that same year?
Same year.
Okay. So again, it just seems like you hit a pinnacle, the top of one mountain, but it was the bottom of the next mountain that you had to, work your way back up.
Yeah, and then within myself, my relationship with my family, I wasn't seeing eye to eye with them. It was so many different variables that played a role. Only relationship that was solid was the one that was, with my girl. And I'm like, I don't think I want the money. Like,
yeah,
that's how I really was feeling. And it's like, I gotta make the money because I got this new mortgage I had to pay for. And it was just a downward spiral of me really figuring out, like, I had to take a step back. So once you take a step back from funding, it's like any business, but it's tough because you got to have something in the pipeline. Usually people are not ready once you meet them.
Yep.
So you got to, work on their credit, work on inquiries, work on utilization. So taking a step back from funding is like taking another extra 2 months.
Yep.
So I didn't, that next January, I probably had made 2,000.
What?
Yeah, made 2,000.
So you went from making $100,000 in 3 months. Then the following month, you had between everything else, you had another $90,000, $90,000 a month. And then 6 months later, you had a $2,000 a month. That's the definition of like slow is fast and fast is slow, for real.
And me telling people I retired from training. So training was my, bread and butter. I know I could make, a quick 10,000. Just from training, 20 clients, 25 clients. And I was charging more before I left. To say I'm not doing that anymore, that's one stream of revenue gone.
Yep.
So I had my app available, but it wasn't the same as it was in person. As I started, saying I was going to retire, a lot of people were just like, no, we want you back and this and that. So it was tough because I knew I could have, if I said I'm training today, I could have made money. But I had to make a choice. Like, if you really want to go further than this, it's your level of focus. And slow is fast, fast is slow. So I could make money fast and I could still be good and I could, do funding on the side, but I could never take it to the level of where training was at if I don't give it my all.
And let's talk about something really quickly, because I also, people that listening may be like, how did you make $100,000 in 3 months, right? But I do want to talk about the slow is fast aspect of that, because prior to you making $100,000, once you announced your service was available, you took the slow approach of like, I need to learn this. I need to give this all my energy, because you could have said, all right, you know what? I'm going to learn funding while I'm still training full time. And there's something about going through the pain of that short-term sacrifice to get the knowledge or the systems that you need to get you to that fast result that we all chase, right? So let's talk about that, because I have a lot of experience on what I'm going through now with that particular model. But what was your experience of why did you not just say, I'm going to learn funding part time while still training full time? Why did you not do that?
Because I knew I had to give it my all to really understand, and it's something new. So I know about credit, but I don't know how to service in a way that we do now and with different banks and understand somebody's profile being ready or not. So I did so well in training in the first quarter, and it helped alleviate those next couple months because my life was like it was like a seesaw. Like every 3 months, it was something different.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah, roller coaster. So the first 3 months, I did 75,000 in training.
Wow.
Now the next 3 months, I couldn't tell you what I did. It was just like, whatever. I was showing up, I was there, but I wasn't trying to get new people because I knew I was planning my exit, but I know I wanted my focus to be on funding. And for those 3 months, I'm learning, I locked in, and I funded myself first. And after funding myself, it was eating me because it's like, yo, if I did this 75 in training, shoot, if I do that, for the next couple quarters, I could end up with, 300,000, 250. But it's like, how do I want to make it? And I know I didn't want to make it that way no more. A lot of people don't make those crazy decisions on top.
Right, exactly. Yep.
They usually do it when things is going bad. So that's how I knew it was a purposeful move for me and a fulfillment move. It wasn't based on stats because I could have just kept training. That was the most I ever did with training within the first 3 months.
Yep.
So I'm breaking 2 records twice in the same year, and it was so pivotal because I'm also breaking records for lowest months ever.
Yep.
So during that time, it's very important to take a step back. It's like a bow and arrow. Like the more you pull back, the further you will go.
I like that.
And that was the analogy. I'm like, yo, I might take a little loss. As long as my bills is paid, my car note is good, insurance is good, I'm fine. Like we all fine.
Yeah.
It's just that we want more for these certain things, or we want more just for our ego, our pride, and if you're doing something, we want it to be the master success. However, there's going to be certain times where you have to study, you have to lock in, you have to set up your systems if you want longevity. Because when we was talking about in the beginning episode, success loves speed, the other part of it can add to is consistency. Success loves speed. However, consistency loves, how did I put it?
Consistency loves like longevity,
Yeah, consistency loves longevity.
Yeah.
And I think that is the part where it's kind of missing in the entrepreneurship world of, let's just get to it. However, when we get to it, can we keep it going? And at what level can we keep it going? What is it going to cost us at this level? And I think that's the part where it's not talked about.
Wow.
So I'm glad we got, this platform to let people know about what comes with these different peaks and valleys. But you want to be prepared because it's going to put a mental strain on you knowing that, this is nothing. Like I bet that's how much it costs. I don't really care how much it costs. I just want it.
Yeah.
To go and be like, hold on, I got to cancel this. I got to cancel this. I got to cancel this. Nope. Nah, I ain't doing that. Like to really, fathom that, it's like, and then once most people make more money, for maybe a couple months, they get new expenses.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I could afford that. Or it's only $100 more. All right, that's 2 clients. I bet. And you just start, and it's good to think that way at a certain time frame. It's rather do that slowly when you have more than enough. And it's like, all right, I can do this. But if you just, I just had a great month, and now you either, and some people might do it another way. I saw a video today I shared. This dude name is called Sweatpant Millionaire. And it was like, yo, if you have a massive success in your business, you grow 400, 500%, you're not ready to scale yet. Mm-hmm. Do that for a few more months. Then, because some people try to scale in other ways. It's not like you just have bad spin habits. You try to just hire people immediately as soon as you have a good month. And it's like, you haven't proven proof of concept yet.
Yep.
You probably just had a great season. Like you just came out the new year and everybody loved your product. Or it might be during Christmas time and everybody's in the buying mode. Like you don't even know what it means to stay in a certain season.
Yeah.
I wish I would have saw that video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I would have saw that video years ago. But I think with me, if I would have just moved slower with my investments, especially my real estate one, because I was doing 3 projects at once.
Oh my gosh. Bro, that's extremely ambitious, bro.
For somebody who never did it before at that.
Yeah.
So I had a primary house that we bought, that we live in, but we didn't have to fix nothing up. But to do 3 projects at once.
That's over leveraging. That's over leveraging, bro.
Yeah. And, I was thinking like, maybe I'm moving too fast. I'm like, yo, this is probably the right time. Like, I might as well invest. We have the numbers set in front of us. We did the due diligence, but I didn't plan just in case something goes wrong, like emergency costs.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it doesn't go exactly how we want it to be. If a house sells for $50,000 less, is there going to be profit?
Is it worth it?
Yeah, so that's what I realized, and that took a toll on me, and I'm still recovering that. And that was in the end of 2022.
Yeah.
That's why Brooklyn, thank God, is sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I still got, project down south where we're supposed to build a new build that's never been done before, and that's like $27,000 in the ground.
Bro, and there's just sound like there's a lot of pain in there, and I think most entrepreneurs, that's what they go through. They go through that period of, I had a great month. Let me focus on scaling. I had a great month. Let me get a new car now because I'm anticipating this one great month to be a forever thing. And it's so pivotal for us to learn from that because, I learned that lesson in 2018. 2018, when I was making, $20,000 a week, I literally felt like that was going to be my life until I die. It's like that was going to be the minimum of where I was going to be playing at or up. I did not expect to be anything lower than 20,000, but that was my new standard of living. $20,000 a week was how I was moving, right? And until like $20,000 a week was like, damn, I wasn't gonna touch that again for a few years to come. But you don't think like that because when you're an entrepreneur, you're ambitious. We're go-getters. We're like, if I did it once, I'm gonna do this forever, right? Yeah, and I think that's the mistake. So let me share an experience of like what, real life of like what's going on now. And then you tell us what's going on now and then we can wrap up as well. So last year when I decided to go full time with coaching, I kind of took a similar approach, but I tried to move a little bit slower. And then once I got I felt like I had the foundation, then I went with speed. And it took me a while to build up. And then with coaching, I started having, 5-figure months again. And I was really good because that was, it took me a while to get back to 5-figure months just from one stream. That felt great. And it allowed me to continue to grow. But I still didn't feel like I really built the best foundation. Like I had a foundation that I could stand on, but it wasn't a foundation that I could jump on without like sinking. So I had a foundation. It was good, bro. Like if me and you stood on the foundation, we was solid. We wasn't sinking. But if I didn't factor in what if we jump, bro? Let's jump on this foundation and see if we sink. And that's what really happened. And the analogy and the example was I didn't have a consistent lead flow of how I wanted to have consistent leads coming in so I can maintain that 5-figure month and then eventually get to a 6-figure month. So that foundation was extremely shaky, my lead generation. And another example is same thing with my Amazon business. My Amazon business, bro, was amazing. I learned the information similar like how you do with funding. And then when I start executing, I made over, $30,000 in my first month. I made 10,000 in my first 10 days, 30,000, and it was just going up. And I was like, if I did 30,000 in my first month of Amazon completely without leaving my house, bro, I'm doing 6 figures by next month. And the next month, my store got shut down because I didn't have the right systems in play to protect me if Amazon audits, my systems. So just those examples is what exposed me to realizing, like, Kim, slow is fast, fast is slow. So I say that to say this, where I'm at right now, it's February 17th, 2024. And I'm not stressing myself to start getting coaching clients right out the gate. Because as I'm learning my new process and my new software, right, I'm taking my time to really iron out all the details, every angle. because I've seen the trends. I understand the trends. I know how I operate. Once I'm in go time, I can't be stopped. But my issue is when I'm in go time, I put my blinders on and I forget some of the other areas that need to be catered to. My philosophy now is like, all right, I'm going to go through the pain of not generating a bunch of income right now so I could build a solid foundation. I jump on it. I could hit a sledgehammer. I could drive a car over this foundation. Ain't nothing going to move, because thinking of what we just said, instead of success loves speed, right? Consistency loves longevity, or longevity loves consistency, however you want to spin it, because I know what it felt like to have a decent Q1, a great Q2, a okay Q3, and a horrible Q4. And that was my trajectory last year. But this year, how I'm playing it is I'm cool with having a okay or underperforming Q1. So Q2 is up. Q3, it's a whole new level. And in Q4, my best quarter of the year. I want to focus on finishing the year strong instead of trying to start the year fast. And if entrepreneurs could have a similar mindset, that's what's going to allow you to, maintain this game of business for the longevity. So that's kind of my experience of where I'm at right now.
And how do you not let your ego get in your way?
Because I did it before. And I feel like it's easy for me to say that because I had that success at the age of 23, 24. So if somebody is listening and they're like, all right, Kim, cool for you. You did it before. I never did it. What would I say to that person? You kind of got to go fast at first and and bump your head a couple times. You have to, because if you don't experience it, you won't know what you're capable of. You got to go to a point of first knowing what you're capable of. Are you capable of making money in this business? Could you sell your product at a high level and not even know how you're going to fulfill it, right? So you kind of have to go through that. But the examples that KB and I are sharing, the goal is for you to be more aware, right? We can't prevent you from making some of the mistakes, because you got to if you want to be in this game. But we want to make you more aware of all right, I remember Kim and KB said, slow is fast, and fast is slow. So you do have to move fast when you're starting to see if you're really who you think you are. But as you're moving fast, you got to be prepared to slow down, and you got to analyze what's working and what's not in the process.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. And I think as you're going on your journey, it doesn't need to happen multiple times. You don't have to lose big and lose everything. And it's there's something wrong there. There's decision that you keep making, or compulsive decisions. And as I go on this journey now, it wasn't until December 2023 I really found my target, my niche of helping beauty professionals. And I think it's a different type of confidence. I know there's a different type of confidence when you have clarity. And when you have clarity about who you want to serve in your business and how you want to attract them, now you're more at ease of, I know this is going to get done, but let me have X, Y, and Z in place. However, that doesn't mean I'm a perfectionist and I'm never going to drop.
Right.
Until it's perfect. It's not what that means either. So you got to find the right medium of knowing, I need to take this step. I need to take a step. You might not have to take a jump, but you got to take a step. And you want to make sure you take a step every day in your business. If you're not, building with clientele, then you're working on your business to know how to bring in that clientele consistently. And I think for me, finding the target, I feel more confident than ever now who I'm approaching when it comes down to the funding. As far as the same way I got the feeling I got from training.
Yeah.
Because in 2018 in training, that's when I really figured out who I wanted to target.
Yeah.
It took me 6 years to get there.
Yeah.
Well, it took me 6 years to get there. And when I got there, it went fast. And it was a good fast because it was just set. People were like, yo, how many people working for you? It's just me. And when I say went fast, I doubled my income every year for 3 years straight.
Wow.
Where I went back and looked at my number just for my own motivation, and I was telling about I increased my app from 400% 1 year.
Yep.
And, when you're in it, you realize time, yo, this is good. And then when you get out of it, or you start over with something new, I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
Right. Yo, that's so true, bro. So true.
And the thing about training, I didn't have joint ventures like that. I just had, great marketing. I had great messaging to my clientele. I was able to meet them where they're at. But now I have so many different partnerships. So, with Chase, we got to do 6 events alone this year.
Yeah.
Having partnerships with different business owners, different organizations, where it's like, nah, I'm really going to level this out the right way. And I think by me going through those experiences, it's my fault. I mean, it's been my fault from the first time, but I'd be a fool to go through that again.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, if I don't do 100K in 3 months, but I do 50K consistently 6 months,
yep.
That adds up. You know what I'm saying? It takes 83 to get $1 million, 83, but it's not even just about the revenue anymore. Now it's about the net. Now it's about lowering my costs. Now it's like, all right, what do I take home? What do I know I have to put for taxes? It's more intricate at this level than saying, yo, I just made 10K this month. All right, let me go, do something, go spend something. And it's like, let me go on a trip. Nah, let me try to figure out how to pay trips for free.
Yep.
As you get seasoned in this game, but as you said, you was going with blinders on, that's the part I want to manage myself more on. It's like, as we grow up this year and years to come, no matter how much money we make, we got to be able to check ourselves and check each other to be like, yo, bro, you probably should think about doing this or think about doing that. And I think that's the hardest part. When you're on top and you're number one, you don't want to hear from nobody.
Yeah, because they're beneath you.
Yeah, it's like, yo, bro, I got the number one song in the country, or I'm first seed in basketball. Like, what you talking about? It's like, yo, I understand what you're doing, the level of success that you have, and it's great. I'm not hating, I'm not jealous, but this happened to me or this happened to somebody I know, maybe you should. And that's the hardest part, where your own ego can be your downfall.
That's heavy, bro. And I think that's really, how we should sum up that episode, because that's really what slow is fast and fast is slow is all about. It's really just understanding where you're at, understanding where you want to go, and making sure that you're having that balance, like what you just said, KB, of like, yo, you're not trying to be a perfectionist. Please don't mistake what KB and I are saying is aim to be a perfectionist. You got to take action, but in the midst of you taking action, assess yourself each step of the way and make sure that you're moving in a direction that will allow you to be consistent over time, because consistency loves longevity. And I think that's really my final take on why everyone needs to embody this title of this episode. So what would you say is your final take?
The time frame is the only thing that you're really going up against. And the time frame is a projection on what you want to do in your own time frame. Because nobody really, at the end of the day, nobody really cares.
Right, yeah.
Because you working on what you're working on, I'm working on what I'm working on. But what we tell ourselves, and that's where I realize that's what my biggest frustration is, it is not happening in the time that I want it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And we make these compulsive decisions so it can happen during this time frame. So it's like, yo, I know I said I want to get 10 clients by the end of the month. So let me take this extra call, but after my after hours, just to help to fulfill this goal. And then that takes away from, your creative time and your process, also it weakens your standard for yourself. Because now you're doing it based off performance.
Yep.
And you kind of tricking yourself into, I need to get this, And when you get it, most of the time, you can't even share success with the people.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, you rushing to do it to tell nobody about it.
Damn.
Or you rushing to pay the bill, honestly.
Right, yeah. Heavy.
So you'd rather go slow than fast, because as you go up even faster, you're going to realize there's more required. And if your mind and your wisdom is not there already, then I don't want to go there yet. So at every level, I ask, yo, God, what do you want me to learn at this level? And what do I need to learn for the next level before I get there? Because I'm not trying to decrease. I'm trying to increase. And if I do decrease, it's going to be for a short season, and it's going to shoot right back up like stocks.
Yep.
So slow is fast, fast is slow, one step at a time.
Yo, I'm telling you guys, like that, I'm super excited to listen to this episode in the years and months to come, bro, because I feel like what we just shared is something that we're going to be proud of how we're thinking pre-millionaire status, right? So again, this is pre-millionaire, like Kim and KB speaking. And what's beautiful is as time evolves and we hit that, the net worth of, multi 7-figure net worth, it's going to be cool to kind of revisit this, right?
But for the record too, we're two guys that are super competitive.
Yeah.
So we've been in friendly competition our whole lives, but we never spoke like this before.
Heavy.
So this is all just wisdom that comes with the game. So I never was like, nah, they just want to go fast. I'm trying to be like this. Everything we try to do, they try to be the fastest person.
Swear to God. Yeah.
So this is seasoned talk. And it's blessed to be at this stage to be able to share. But also, for those young listeners out there, if you just started, take heed. Please take heed. Because it's the whole reason that we're able to give this to you, so you kind of showing your learning curve and be able to get it. You can get it faster if you move slower.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so backwards, but that's the reality that we got to teach. And you're right, bro. Like, there's no way this episode would have resonated with the 21-year-old Lay Kim or the 21-year-old KB. No way. Because it's like, bro, we got to get it fast. Like, we broke. So it's like, that's all I'm thinking about is like, it's cool. I hear what you're saying, but I'm trying to get it now, and I'm looking at it now. I'm grateful that I haven't hit some of the benchmarks that I envision on hitting, because I would have truly been depressed. Because if I'd hit, being a multimillionaire or a millionaire by 30 and then going back to being like a person that's making $50,000 a year, I don't know how I would have responded to that. I really don't. And I'm thank God that I don't have to, experience that, because it's scary, bro. It's a scary thought that some of the people, their biggest blessing is not getting the things that they want in the time frame that they wanted in. That's one of the biggest lessons lesson, whatever you want to say. That's one of the best things that could happen to you. Not getting what you want in the time frame that you want. Because if so, you got it when you wanted it, and then you have to lose it. That's going to be the one of the most hurtful things that you could experience in life. And just look at this as a lesson and a growing period to get you to the next season.
Anyone can start, but only champions finish. Now that you've completed this episode, you're ready to continue your journey by connecting directly with our hosts of Entrepreneurhood. Follow us on Instagram at The Entrepreneurhood to stay updated with the community. For each episode, the first set of listeners to tag us on Instagram and leave a 5-star review will be entered into a drawing to get a free one-on-one coaching session on the topic of entrepreneurship with our hosts. Remember, there is no shame in struggling, because we fail, we grow, and we win. Right here on Entrepreneurhood.